Waka winga kanagnagyaga kipiyugak. Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Edenshaw. I am Yupik and Inupiaq, and my family comes from Emonic, Alaska. Emonic is a small Yupik village on the mouth of the Yukon River, and Emonic stands for Blackfish in Yupik. I've had the honor to serve as the president and CEO of the Alaska Native Heritage Center, the only statewide living cultural center in Alaska that represents all cultures in all regions in Alaska. We are one of America's cultural treasures. Thank you so much for having me today. So the Heritage Center is the only statewide living cultural center that represents all regions and all cultures. We reside currently in Anchorage, Alaska, where we sit on 26 acres. If you were to stop by the Heritage Center, you would be welcomed on our 26-acre campus with 6 traditional village sites. We are one of America's cultural treasures. But what makes the Heritage Center so unique is that we were born out of our community for our community. It's an honor to do this work, not only for Alaska Native people in Anchorage, but statewide as well. So the Alaska Native Heritage Center is a wonderful example of how you can create economic opportunities that are grounded in not only culture, but also heritage. They are not mutually exclusive. Here at the Heritage Center, we provide year-round jobs for our youth, not only in our cafe, in our gallery, but also during our summer and winter programming. That's important to note because we, as I mentioned, live and we reside in an urban setting. And so we're creating these cultural connections for our Native youth to not only connect to who they are, but also their community. Something else that is important to note is that at the Alaska Native Heritage Center, we really uphold the understanding of what we value as success, living our ways of life, knowing who you are, and having access to not only your culture, but also your heritage is central to who we are as Native people. And so again, at the Alaska Native Heritage Center, it's a wonderful example of how we are creating economic opportunities grounded in both culture and heritage. So my advice to not only visitors, but also stakeholders that want to have a more authentic experience is to reach out to either the tribe or the indigenous community in which they're visiting. You know, something as simple as learning the native language in where you're visiting really goes a long way. So say, for instance, you're coming to the Alaska Native Heritage Center, you could say Chinan, which is thank you in Dena'ina. Again, that's just one simple way of how you can honor the indigenous people of the lands in which you're visiting. Another piece of advice that I would give is understanding that you are a visitor to these lands that you're going to visit. And with that is a responsibility to learn the history and to really know that it's not going to just be an extractive experience. Go and learn about not only the indigenous history, but also the contemporary issues that impact the community in which you're visiting. But to add on top of that, provide a donation, give back to the community, do, find a way to give back. And so again, there is that native value of reciprocity that exists within your experience. The last thing I'll note is that, and this is something we share at the Heritage Center, tourism is education and education is tourism. Oftentimes when you visit cultural centers or museums, you're going to be working with people that for all intents purposes may not have had the opportunity to learn this history or to learn the education in which you're receiving. And so again, by supporting the programs that you're visiting or the organizations, you're upholding that education not only for the youth, but also for the community. One thing I learned early on in my career is how we measure success. And my advice is to really look at measuring success not only with business profits. And what I mean by that is maybe look at the contribution to the community in which the tourism is either coming or if you're a part of it. So again, measuring your success, extending beyond a profit lens. The other thing I would say is that tour operators and businesses need to be okay with a community not wanting tourism. This is especially so in rural Alaska. I've mentioned it time and time again. You have to be okay if the communities do or do not want tourism. And what we refer to as to be a good relative, to really listen to them and to understand if they're saying no, no means no. But on the other end of that, if they want it, find ways to partner with them. To grow your visitation, at the heart of it is to partner with indigenous communities or local communities to create those opportunities 365 days a year. In Alaska's context, there is this perception that we only have summer tourism, but there's also winter tourism. And as I shared earlier, creating those jobs year round not only have an economic benefit, but there's also a social cultural benefit to it as well. So again, partner with local communities to create those year round opportunities for not only our youth, but also our community members and our elders.